think any team has speed. I don't think it's just the SEC. Every conference has speed like everyone does in the whole entire country. So whether you want to believe it's real or not, I don't.
You heard a lot about Jalen Milroe, obviously, and how important slowing him down is. But could you talk about, I guess, sort of the rest of the team on film, maybe Bond or any of the receivers? Who else really sort of stands out?
Well, just like you said, Bond. I mean, I would say the whole backfield and everybody out wide, they all stand out. The whole entire team is a really good team overall. And I think just the defense is going to have to come together to be able to stop them.
How do you defend speed? Right? Like it's a lot of schematic things that can be done, of course, but like what do you do if the team's just generally faster than what you're doing with customers?
I would say run. Yeah, in the back end, running and just being over top of all the routes and having great underneath players. That's what I would say.
Can you take us back through the last play of the Ohio State game again and what was going through your mind when you had on the field, and then kind of euphoria the moment afterwards?
I would say right before they came out, I was telling the guys up front they got to get to the quarterback for us because it'll make it a harder throw for him. And I think they got those, I want to say 2 or 3 completions right before they threw the interception, and it was like that review after they punched the ball out, and I thought it was incomplete, and I was like, oh. Honestly, when I walked back out there, it was like 30 seconds. I was like, oh, yeah, like it has to be, somebody has to stop the play right now or it might not look too good. And I saw the 2 slot receivers over to my left, and they were running a route concept called Washer, which is double dig the whole entire time. And as soon as it blew across my face, I knew Marvin was coming in, and I looked, and I saw him break in, and I looked back, and I saw the ball short. I just saw it, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's
Did you know
game.
Jalen had hit him or after the fact?
I thought it was Mason because when I was running, I saw Mason standing there, but then everybody was telling me it was Jalen. And that's the guy I was really telling when I first initially said you got to get to the quarterback, and he did it. So.
How do you think the team, the players, handled all the distractions over the second half of the season? Coach Harbaugh getting suspended and all the rest.
I think we handled it really good. We always had a one-track mind. That's what we call a one-track mind, just keep the focus what it is. And I think it really helped when, at the beginning of the season when he wasn't there, I think it was the first 3 or 4 games, and Coach Moore and all the other coaches got a chance to be head coach. And when it was random out of nowhere, when he got taken from Penn State, when Coach Moore stepped up, I think it was just, like it really wasn't any change. It was like Coach Harbaugh said to us, next man up as a players, and it was just like next man up as a head coach. And Coach Moore came in and did what he was supposed to do. And it really didn't, to me, it didn't feel like a change.
Have you been back to Ohio since the game?
I went back, I think it was last week before we came out here. No, for Christmas I was back.
What's the mood down there? And I mean, when you go back there, I mean, you got to just be loving it.
Yeah, all my family keeps telling me, like, they were happy and mad on that day. Like, they started crying because I caught it, but then they were mad because Ohio State lost. But I was just like, it was crazy, honestly, just walking past people. And some people recognized who I was and asked me to take a picture, but some people were just like, yeah, that's what he did against Ohio State. But I was just like, it felt good being back at home.
How has your life changed since that play?
Just a lot more attention and maybe NIL opportunities came my way that I never had before.
What's it mean to be 3-0 against Ohio State?
A lot, especially being from Ohio. And I just remember, I always remember this every day, or every time we beat them. When I committed to Michigan and signed, all my friends and family told me that I would never beat Ohio State. And I told them, like, if when I went to Michigan, we would never lose to Ohio State. And so far, that's true. So it just feels real good.
Obviously, against Ohio State, but hoping to not be 0-3 in those college football playoffs that follow those. What's sort of the tenor or like the mood in the locker room? I think you guys sort of described the first time it was happy to be here. Last year, you guys were, a lot of people were saying sort of a business trip, but Jim sort of changed practice, I guess, this year. What is the mood and the vibe this time?
I think it's, I think it's also a business trip this year, and just more so like we can't come here 3 times in a row and lose 3 times in a row. That's just not a good look, and I think just everyone's more hungry on both sides of the ball, and even on special teams. Everyone is just so dialed into everything that we have to do to be able to win this game. So I think that's what's so much different about this team than it was last year.
What's one thing you have done differently specifically?
Probably watch more film. I've always watched a lot of film, but just being able to know my opponent and what they do on certain situations.
Piggybacking off that question, what do you see in Alabama?
A lot of deep threats. They have a good run game, of course. Good quarterback, just good all around. And I just believe that the defense as a whole has to stop the offense as a whole.
What are some keys to stopping an offense with someone like Jalen Milroe who can, throw the ball downfield, like better than anyone in the country?
Executing your assignments 100% and just effort at angles when guys get open and run the ball.
Last week, Blake Corman said that you felt that the narrative had flipped, even though you guys got the #1 ranking, that Alabama was perceived as the favorite, and that you guys had taken notice. How do you feel about that, or do you feel that that's been kind of the case?
Yeah, I've seen it a lot that people are taking Alabama as a favorite over this game. I really don't buy into that as much because a lot of that goes to people who really don't watch football like that or just always have their own opinion. So I really don't buy into any of that, like who's the favorite and who's not. It's just really about what you go out there and do on Monday.
If I could go back to what you said about NIL, can you talk about what the process has been like? Like you make a big play and all of a sudden there's an NIL opportunity coming off of that. I mean, what's that like? It used to not be like that before.
Yeah, right. I honestly like it because you get rewarded for what you do, especially on big stages like this. When there was no NIL, I think it was kind of messed up when you're playing on TV, even when they had NCAA and they had people on the game and you didn't get paid for it. Like I love it, especially because like you get paid earlier than what you could have, like going to NFL. That's when you get paid, but now you have chances to get paid now.
Earlier in the season, you guys had Michigan versus everybody. Alabama's had length, kind of let a naysayer know their kind of slogan for the year. To what extent do you think you guys have used, Jalen Milroe and Terran Arnold thought of that one, but to what extent do you think that those types of kind of slogans or mindsets kind of help a team rally around each other and just kind of help go through the struggles of a season like that?
I think it just brings the team together, especially the Michigan versus everybody with everything that went on from the coach to, that whole other thing that was going on and just everything. Like I think it just brought the team together to go and keep that one-track mind of the national championship, national championship, national championship.
Does this group feel closer than the ones that come here in years past?
Most definitely. Like, honestly, my first 2 years, I really just talked to the DBs, maybe some of the linebackers, but I think I talked to everybody on the team now because just everybody is bought into everything.
A lot of people asking if you're going to be back next year, have a chance to go 4-0 against Ohio State. How much have you thought about that? Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility. I thought about it a little bit, but I really just want to focus on what's going on right now, especially this game that's coming up. I don't want to, cloud my mind with my personal futures. I just want to be able to do what I want to do for this team at the time being.
Is that kind of the mindset of all the guys?
I believe so. I think some guys are set on leaving already because, they already know what they're going to be able to do, but some guys are in the same boat as me, so.
You guys talk quite a bit about it, or just really?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Roddy talked about branching out into the DBs, the entire defense. Would you say that's become the identity of this defense, or what do you think makes this group of people special?
That's a lot of things. But I also think it starts with the team trip that we do every year. We went around, I think we went to New York, D.C., Cleveland, to the Hall of Fame, just being with the guys every day and going on a trip and traveling and seeing things together. Like you end up in a group with different people every day on the team. And so I think it just makes the team closer when you do things like that because, we do team trips every year, but I just think this one, like this year with the goal at hand, especially after the TCU game, I think we just knew, okay, we can't go out like that. We got to come back and do something different. So I just think that's what it is.
What was your favorite part of the trip this year? Yeah.
What was my favorite part of the trip?
Yeah.
I would say probably New York because I've never been in New York. Like just seeing that big city. Because I'm from Ohio. Like it's just Dayton, Ohio is a small city, and seeing such a big city like New York, it was actually crazy. And then we took a train to D.C. And I've never been on a train, so that was probably my favorite part.
Is this your first time in LA as well?
My first time in LA. It's pretty nice, Cali. Just seeing seeing how it is on Grand Theft Auto, it looks just like it, and then on the movies. So yeah.
Talk about how far Quentin's come. We saw him on the field at the end of the Ohio State game and just how he's progressed, Quentin Johnson.
Man, Quentin took a big leap from. I saw it in the spring because I sat out in spring due to my knee. But just seeing the jump he took, and because he saw opportunity at hand, and he just went and seized it and coming into camp, man. And then when we started off, Q was he was on it, and I think he just took advantage of everything that was in front of him and went and attacked it.
For him, and just kind of generally, I mean, how do you know when guys kind of flip that switch? Like, is it just the way they're approaching drills? Is it something else? How do you know?
You see how when they come in the facility, like just their attitude, body language. Q has spent a lot of time doing extra work this year, and that's what I've seen out of him this year. And you could tell, like, okay, he was bought into everything that we have to do this year. Because I believe Coach Klink and Coach Manning challenged him a lot after the last season because he got some time at the end of the TCU game, and he was showing what he could do, and in Purdue. So I think that's what it was.
Who are some of the young guys in the safety that have stepped up, in your opinion, in these bowl practices?
Keon Sabb. You saw all the plays he made early. And I think some guys that really haven't played this year that have some chances next year is Zeke Berry and Brandon Hillman. Both guys are really good, so just remember those names.
How hard is it to get through a Big Ten schedule undefeated?
It's really hard. Obviously, the early games we don't really play. We play out of conference games, but when you come into the Big Ten, we start playing Penn State and Ohio State, especially like Maryland. Maryland's a really good team when they want to be. So those three teams, you have to beat them to be able to get to the Big Ten championship. And then Ohio State being the last game, that's just all the buildup of everything in one. And I think that's just what it is.
How much pride is on the line for players between the Big Ten and the SEC and those two conferences kind of battling it out?
I think it's a lot. For me, it is because I just don't like how people try to just take the Big Ten down like we don't play good football, just like the SEC plays good football. I mean, all conferences play good football, but I just believe both of those conferences are the high conferences in the college playoffs. So,
How much does the Georgia loss 2 years ago come up among players? Is that motivation at all?
yeah, because we came out, I ain't like that game. We came out people was too light, too scary. I didn't like that. So, yeah, we got to come back and,
Was it just the aura of Georgia? Was it just kind of what they were at the time?
You look at that Georgia team, that was a good team. That was like the national championship team. All those guys, about 5 of them went first round. So, I mean, it speaks for itself. All those guys were really good. So,
Has there been a big difference in terms of how you practice against the Georgias and TCUs last year compared to this year?
not really. Just more of attention to detail at every position. Me speaking for the defense, attention to detail and everything, and just competing. Like, you compete every day in practice. It's not going to be a problem when you compete in the game on Monday. So.
You talked about the Ohio fans in your family. Is that immediate family too?
Mm-hmm.
And
Not my mom, my dad, but my uncles, aunts, cousins, all of them are Ohio State fans. But
so you think you've converted your parents like for good?
yeah, I converted my parents when I committed to Michigan. They told me we do all of our Ohio State stuff away. The whole living room, it's Michigan now, but we used to have a couple Ohio State things in there.
Was it kind of a blessing in disguise that they didn't show the attention and you're here now? Do you feel like they feel that way?
Yeah, I think it is because it gives me more fuel when I play against them, especially that type of game. And I don't know, maybe it could have went a different way if they did show love. Not saying I would have went there, but you know how big Ohio State's name as an offer comes when it comes to other schools wanting to show love and stuff. So I think it was, yes.
There's been a lot of talk here at this presser still about your big play to end the game for Ohio State. Have you thought about what a play like that would look like in the Rose Bowl? Have you started dreaming about doing that again?
Yeah, just making plays in this game is really a must for everybody because especially a big play like that, you could really change your life in any regard. So.
I'm curious with your class, you came in as freshman, right? You, junior, JJ, Donovan, the list could go on. You guys are 0-2 right now in playoff games. How important is this Rose Bowl game to kind of shaping you guys' legacy, considering that?
It really is important. Like you said, that's the class that came in when everything flipped. Like my freshman year, we made it to the playoffs and won the Big Ten, which hadn't happened, I believe, I think 11 years or something like that. And I think we just have to. It's really important to us, especially because we're 0-2 in the playoffs, and
Some of the guys earlier were talking about this season. You've had a bit of a chip on your shoulder as a team because of everything that's happened. How does Coach Harbaugh and his approach to things factor into having that mentality?
I think it's just. I want to say maybe when he came back, you could tell when he came back, or also when it happened, he was just real upset. When he came back when we saw him on the runway after the Penn State game, like his voice was gone, so you could tell he was in the hotel yelling. But just when he came back, and he could be in practice with us the whole entire week, and just the way he approached every day, you could tell like, okay, like this is for him. Like me, I personally, and I think the whole entire defense personally, like we want to get this for Coach Harbaugh because, especially what they did to him at the beginning of the season and towards the end, like it's always been like attacking coach. And so we just owe him something real big just to, get back at everybody.
It seems like he feeds off having a bit of, an adversity or finding somebody to kind of, fight off of, if you will. How have you seen that?
I think just everything, just like you said, adversity builds character and it makes you better as a person. That's me speaking for myself and everyone else who's been through adversity. Yeah.
And I guess just like how has the team kind of adopted his mentality in some ways, or how have you seen that so far this year?
I think that's with every team with a head coach, and he constantly preaches the same thing every day, and just in different ways. Like he always has some type of analogy. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. But I think it's just that every day after practice, whenever he brings us up and talks to us, just that message that he has for us.
If you were to kind of think back to the season, what analogy stands out to you?
I can't really think on the top of my head. He has so many. Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head.
Marvin Harrison said that you guys threw coverages that he'd never seen before, didn't really know how to adapt to. But yesterday, Jalen Milroe said that he felt confident that the SEC had him prepared for changes in schemes. You guys feel confident in your scheme and your coverage and your ability to hide looks from Milroe?
Yes, I believe he hasn't seen a lot of the looks that we're going to give him because, me watching other defenses, our defense doesn't play like other defense that he's seen. Like Marvin Harrison said, you got all the defenses in the Big Ten he's going against. He hasn't seen anything that we ran. So, I don't think we run the same defense at any SEC team. So.
Defensive secondary, you guys feel any extra pressure? Obviously, Bama's got a huge line. Jalen Milroe can run. Any extra pressure to create some coverage sacks?
No, I think we just take it as a opportunity game and a money game because you can make money off of things like this. Just being able to cover, especially the guys that they have, and forcing the run to have to be able to get started. So.
Third straight playoff, but this one's Rose Bowl, Alabama. Does it feel any different, or does it kind of feel the same as the other two?
Leading up until we got here, it didn't feel any different, but now that we're here and it's really the Rose Bowl, like I believe everybody that's about to be on that field on Monday watched the Rose Bowl as a kid. So just being able to play in this game, and I think night before and then the day of the game when we step on the field, there's going to be a lot of energy and a lot of just hype when it comes to it.
On that note, is there any game that stands out from when you were a kid watching the Rose Bowl?
Off the top of my head, no, but I think was that last year or 2 years ago when Ohio State and Utah played?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was a good game, especially what Njigba did. That was a stellar game for sure.
Rod, Coach Harbaugh is known for his cleats and khakis on the sidelines. What would your fit be if you were a coach on the sidelines?
I don't think it would be cleats and khakis. I think it would be probably some good gym shoes that are good on turf and not some black slacks probably. I don't think I would rock any khakis.
Coach
Coach Harbaugh told me yesterday that he sees Alex Orji turning into a player like Jalen Milroe for Michigan. And you said it kind of scares him that Jalen Milroe is as athletic as Alex Orji. In practice, after studying Alabama and Jalen Milroe, do you see Alex Orji showing flashes of becoming a player like Jalen Milroe?
Most definitely. If you see Alex work out throughout the summer and then when it comes to translate to football, it's kind of scary. He has like attributes that are God gifted, if you want to say. Throughout the week, when we've been preparing for Alabama, you know Jalen Milroe has a strong arm, and I believe he was at the 30-yard line, opposite 30-yard line, and Alex just launched it, and it got to the middle of the other end zone. And then just running around, I think he gives a great look to the guys up front, especially guys in the back end, because if a quarterback takes off, we got to get him down sometimes. So I think that's a great look for him, for us.
You guys feel that Alex has you prepped for a guy like Milroe?
Most definitely.
You've been asked a lot of questions here, probably been here about 40 minutes or so. What's one question you wish people asked you? Whether it's about how you got here, preparation. Mike said he wishes people asked just how he was doing.
Yeah, probably how I was doing and probably what makes me go every day.
How are you doing and what makes you go every day?
I'm doing really good, honestly. But what makes me go every day is just my mom, my dad. I'm the only child and a first-generation college student. And then my grandma who passed 2 years ago, and then one of my best friends who passed away when I was 17 years old. So those four things really just make me go each and every day.
You talk to your mom a lot?
Yeah, every day. I'm a mama's boy, so for sure.